Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about how to compare things. Let's begin with one-syllable adjectives. If there's only one thing, we use an affirmative adjective. If there are two things, we use a comparative adjective by adding er. If there are three things, we use a superlative adjective by adding est. Here are some sample sentences. Building A is pretty tall. Building B is taller than Building A. Building C is the tallest building of all. Many adjectives have an opposite adjective. In the case of tall, the opposite is short. Here are some sample sentences. Pencil A is pretty short. Pencil B is shorter than Pencil A. Pencil C is the shortest pencil of all. We can summarize these one-syllable adjectives in this chart. As you can see, increasing degrees of opposite adjectives go in opposite directions, up or down. There are a few irregular adjectives in English: good, bad, many, few, much, and little. Some adjectives have more than one syllable. In this case, we compare them using more or most. Here are some sample sentences. Mr. Smith's class is interesting. Mrs. Wood's class is more interesting. Miss Lee's class is the most interesting. We can also compare actions in the same way that we compare things. You see that I have moved the two-syllable adverbs to the right side of this chart. If one person does something well, another person might do it better, and a third person might do it the best of all. If one person runs slowly, another person might run more slowly, and a third person might run the most slowly of all. In these three-syllable adverbs, one person might do something carefully or sloppily, another person might do it more carefully or more sloppily, and a third person might do it the most carefully or the most sloppily. Here are some sample sentences. My brother drives carefully. My sister drives more carefully. My mother drives the most carefully. Now let's try some examples, shall we? Look at this menu from an imaginary restaurant. Example: the beef is more expensive than the chicken. The chicken is cheaper than the seafood. The tea is more delicious than the coffee. The lemon meringue pie is more fattening than the apple pie. The beef is tastier than the seafood. The minestrone soup is saltier than the chicken soup. The broccoli is more nutritious than the peas. The avocado dip is richer than the crab cakes. The home-fried potatoes are greasier than the baked potatoes. The chocolate ice cream is sweeter than the cherry pie. The Italian dressing is better than the French dressing. Now let's try some more examples. Practice makes perfect. This jacket is more expensive than that jacket. A rabbit can run faster than a tortoise. These shoes are more fashionable than those shoes. Mount Everest is arguably the highest mountain in the world. The tortoises play newer music than the terrapins. The history of insects was the hardest class I've ever taken. Psychology Display is the most difficult magazine I've ever read. Mr. Jones' class is more boring than Mr. Edwards' class. Bambi vs. Godzilla was the best movie I've ever seen. A Lotus Elan is faster than a Prius. A caterpillar is hungrier than a ladybug. A lion is the friendliest animal on earth. That's all for today. See you next time.